In order to configure the TechCare wireless system, we use the LS450 config tool. This software is intended to run on a Windows laptop with an available Ethernet port. If you need assistance configuring your laptop to communicate on the TechCare network, please refer to the instructions and the Tectone network settings video on our YouTube channel. I'm going to open up the config tool and select the new default configuration with an NC475. Once that configuration opens up, it's probably wise to save your configuration with the facility name and date. I'm going to the File menu, select Save Configuration As, and give it a name. Next, we want to navigate to the Transmitters page and enable the system for the TC500 by selecting ES Enabled. Then, using the File menu, I'm going to commit this configuration to the system. In our case, that simply means I'm going to load it onto the NC475 appliance server. Once this is completed, I'll get a message telling me that I have successfully committed the configuration to the 475, and I can click OK. For the next step, we'll navigate to the Locations page. This gives us the opportunity to add some proximity maps that will be used to let the staff members know where the calls are coming from, what rooms or what locations. So I'm going to add a map that I have saved here by clicking the plus button and selecting the Load Configuration from File. Navigate to where you may have saved the map on your laptop and upload it to the configuration. We must give the map a name. I'm just going to call it Map 1, but a given installation can have several different maps, so name them appropriately. Now I have a map named and loaded. I need to plot the locations on that map starting from scratch. I can add multiple locations at one time. In this case, the map we have shows 8 resident rooms. So we'll say those rooms are 101 through 108. And I'm going to add those 8 rooms to my list here by selecting Add Multiple, and in the pop-up box, fill in the range of room numbers. Clicking the plus button will add the locations to our configuration. Then I need to edit each room and plot them on the map. So I select 101 and click Edit on the details bar. We need to designate which map it is on, accept the change, and then edit the map and move the icon to wherever room 101 is. I will do that for all 8 locations. We also create a location for the repeaters, and we'll call that 100 Hall. And then we can say that the 100 Hall repeater happens to be located up here at this end of the hallway. For the next step, we'll move to the Patients page and we'll configure our system to use more specific terminology and fields relevant to the facility. So the first change I can make is when I come down here to the Patient settings. Hit the Edit button and let's change the word Patient to Resident. Now that's going to change that occupant term throughout the system. The resident information or the resident fields are what's going to show up when each person places a call and the staff navigates to the screen to give them the detailed information about that specific resident. Some common things that the facility might want to see, depending on the type of facility, might be emergency contact name and possibly emergency contact phone numbers. As you can see, as I create these fields, they're populating under the resident information. So this information is customized for any given facility, and the type of information that they want to display is on their system. After I have my fields created, I can add my individual residents. To add a resident, we click on the plus button on the resident bar and fill in the relevant information. Our first resident may be Dennis Decker. Let's say his daughter is the emergency contact and her name is Debbie Decker. And her phone number is 888-123-4567. I want to assign Dennis to a default location that's the room that he's going to live in. So we can say Dennis's default location is room 101. If there were other locations created that Dennis was also associated with, I could check them in this list here, but that is supplemental information. The default location is what is required. Additional locations are simply options. I can also add Dennis's picture. So now I've successfully entered Dennis Decker into the system. You will then add the remaining residents. We can do more for this demonstration. This lady's name is Candace Clayton, and her emergency contact is her husband, Chris. Chris's phone number is 888-123-6789. Let's say Candace lives in room 103 and we upload her photo. You would continue this process, enrolling all of the existing residents into the system. Hopefully it goes without saying, but again, remember to save your configuration often. The final step is to enroll the actual transmitters into the system. So I'm going to go back here to the transmitters page, and as you can see, we have some options here at the top. This one is Add Transmitter by means of a barcode scanner, and that's what we're going to do. I have a barcode scanner connected to my laptop. There's nothing very special about this specific scanner, but it does need to read both linear barcodes and the square QR codes. So after selecting Add Barcode, we need to designate it for the system by selecting the device type as EchoStream and placing our cursor in the open field. After scanning the device, all the information about that device will populate in the relevant field. It is a EchoStream device, and the device ID is B225B0AC. That was loaded from the scan. Next, I'm going to copy that device ID and paste it into the name field. This way, the name of the device will match the device ID. It will need to be designated as in use, and the device type is set as an SF504 pendant. Then we're going to assign this pendant to Dennis, and we are done. Committing the configuration to the system will load all of our custom programming to the NC475, and after that process completes, pressing the button on the pendant will result in an alarm on the system from Mr. Decker, who resides in room 101. We can even pull up the map and see where room 101 is located. Adding the remaining devices is the same process with only minor differences. To add a wall-mounted device to Candace's room, we simply scan the device, copy the device ID into the name field, and assign it to a location instead of an individual. Remember to save your configuration frequently. So on all devices, we copy the device ID, paste it onto the name field, select the device type, and then we either assign a device to a given location or to an individual. The other thing we want to do on this page is to assign the system's repeaters to a location. This allows the system to associate the location of the repeater with an alarm placed from a pendant. So in this case, I select the repeater, go into edit mode, and assign it to the 100 hall location. After all your transmitters and repeaters are enrolled, we can commit this configuration to the system, and the system will be up and running. Thank you for watching this presentation. Please visit us at techtone.com or contact us by phone at 800-327-8466 for further training options, sales questions, and technical support.